Hello everyone. So, for those of you who didn't hear earlier the week, that when this finishes at around 7:45, we'll switch over to a Zoom room, and those of you who can stay, we'll have a community meeting, just a gathering, and maybe talk a little bit about the Dharma or our community, and I can answer some questions, maybe do a breakout group. We meet each other a little bit, and hopefully a somewhat simple and friendly time together. That's a little different than being on YouTube. I'll post the link later here in the chat, and also it's posted on the IMC homepage. You'll find it two places there. One is under the bottom right where there's What's New, and then on the calendar, IMC calendar for today. So, excuse me just a minute. So, in some conventional way, meditation involves an inward looking, being really present here for oneself. And there are variations of meditation that operate somewhat differently, but it still involves a heightened development of heightened development of personal qualities, if nothing else, of our capacity for awareness. And so there is a kind of focus on this apparatus we are as a human being. And I'd like to propose that in the field for the practice of compassion, that it's invaluable for us to be deeply connected to ourselves in a positive way. That the rush to be compassionate without having first established a healthy relatedness to this being that we are can lead to misdirected compassion, and lead to compassion which can even be harmful for oneself. And our compassion for others is so much richer if we have established a healthy relatedness to ourselves. And so we sit and meditate, and so some of these things about appreciation we've talked about this week can apply to oneself, to appreciate oneself, to understand oneself, understand all the aspects of who we are, and not be limited by any understanding, so that the appreciation is not limited by self-criticism or shame that we carry, or regrets or resentments we carry. And then to understand ourselves, so to appreciate ourselves, understand ourselves, to respect ourselves, to view ourselves as a valuable human being. Maybe not because of what we have done or not done in our lives, but because inherently being a human being is a precious and valuable event, and to value ourselves, to treat ourselves worthy of love, of care, of respect, and to respect ourselves, to respect our potential, and then to have some deeper acceptance of ourselves, and a kind of acceptance that we're willing to accept and to be open to be present, to allow for all of who we are to exist here, and to allow for it all with non-harming. We're not going to harm any of it. We're going to see it and know it, and in this deeper appreciation for ourselves, then be able to hold it all. And to do all those things, then when we're ready for compassion, we are ready for something more. And there's one more step in appreciation, which I'll talk about later. But for now, I'd like to kind of offer a summary for all this, when we sit to meditate. And that is to sit and meditate with gratitude. Gratitude is often closely connected to appreciation. And we appreciate, and then we're grateful for what we appreciate. And to sit and meditate in gratitude, in a thanksgiving to ourselves, to this life, to be born, to our situation. And of course, it's hard sometimes to feel gratitude for our situation, for ourselves, situation we found ourselves in. But to sit down to meditate, to have the ability, the capacity to sit and meditate, to lie down to meditate, to be able to sit quietly and have the ability to turn the attention inward is a phenomenal gift. It's a rare gift in this world that people actually take this kind of time to connect to something deep inside. It's we're entering into a world that few people actually spend much time in. The world of care, the world of the Dharma, the world of non-harming, the world of waking up and being present. Wow, this is phenomenal. Very few people take the time, have this opportunity for this. So even if you feel like things are difficult and challenging for you, yes, they probably are. And what a gift to sit down. Few people have this thing that we're doing now for the next few minutes. You might know a lot of meditators, so it doesn't seem like it's a rare gift. Boy, is it rare that you enter into this kind of inner world, or liberated world that we're pointing to in the Dharma. So to take a meditation posture that's suitable for you, and gently close your eyes and adjust your posture. A posture suitable for you to do this sacred work of waking up to what's here, even if what's here is difficult. And to begin offering a kind of self-care, begin offering yourself a willingness to enter this sacred world of attention by gently, tenderly taking a few deeper breaths and relaxing on the exhale. Taking a few long, deep breaths and really relaxing more on the end of the exhale, letting go or releasing of all things. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And consider that the rhythm of breathing in and breathing out is a thread through time, through all our experiences, which provide us a grounding in being aware. Being aware of the breathing. Is a way to not be caught in the thoughts, the mind, the feelings we have, but to gently stay grounded and continuous, to move through time, with time, without stepping out of the flow of time into our thoughts and feelings. This gentle massage that supports us in being aware. Each time the mind wanders away in thought, each time you remember to reconnect to the here, to be aware, each moment of mindfulness, each breath you breathe, a time for gratitude, for appreciation, for a kind of inspiration, of gratitude for this precious opportunity to be alive, to be breathing, to be practicing waking up from suffering, to meditate in gratitude. regardless of the difficulties you have. Can you establish your awareness practice with an element of gratitude? Is there something about here and now that you can be grateful for, that supports, encourages you, invites you to stay present for breathing, your body, to your capacity to be aware and present? And then to end this sitting, with a question: what are you grateful for? That in recognizing and acknowledging, your breathing becomes easier. A gratitude that allows something to relax. A gratitude about some fundamental way in which you are alive. And in being grateful, perhaps finding an inspiration inside to share your good fortune with others. Maybe in wishing them well, wishing them to share some of what you're grateful for, or your benefits, or your fortune, your good fortune to practice a path to the freedom from suffering. May others also find a way to that freedom. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. And may each of us, in our own way, contribute to that in the world. May the goodness and fortune of our lives serve for the welfare and happiness of all. Thank you very much. And So, good morning, everyone, and or hello, wherever you are in the time zones. And so, at the end of this, our teaching here, I'm going to post a Zoom link for our community meeting, those of you who'd like to stay. And it's also found on the IMC's homepage under What's New and the calendar. And it has a password. And the password is a theme of this week, which is appreciate. So please remember to appreciate when you want to enter the Zoom room. So we come to the end of the week, focusing on appreciation as a foundation for compassion. And there's one more element that I associate with appreciation that is inevitable, is invaluable. And I'll introduce it this way, that without there being love first, I worry that compassion is not really compassion. That love is a necessary component of compassion. And I say that because of sometimes people feel an obligation to care for others. They feel alarmed, they feel worried, they feel upset about suffering in the world, suffering in others. They feel fear in relationship to it. And they carry with them a strong sense of obligation, like I'm supposed to, I need to. Or a strong sense that I have to address this and deal with this because I'm so uncomfortable. And they're addressing suffering, they're trying to bring that suffering to an end. And so the actions can look like compassionate actions, but they're not informed by love. They're not informed by a deep appreciation, valuing, understanding of others. And these first four themes of this week, I'd like to suggest are also really necessary for healthy love. That there's an appreciation of others, there is an understanding of them, there is a respect for them, and there is a certain kind of acceptance of them. And love, without a healthy dosage of each of these, can easily become skewed, can easily become problematic. And there might be other important elements of love, but those four, I think, are really invaluable, and leads us to a kind of a healthy love, a healthy, almost like love is almost like appreciating the beauty of others. It's appreciating and valuing the wonderfulness of a connection, of a feeling of warmth, of a feeling of closeness, a feeling of delight, a feeling of real appreciation for the wonderfulness of people, the sense of gratitude for them, and grateful to be in their presence, and happy to be in their presence. Love is many different things, and for each person, maybe what love is different, and love is different in different situations. So I offer it to you as a reference point for your investigation, for your really grappling with compassion, considering it deeply. And that is, without love, there can't be compassion. So that's the last element of appreciation is love. And we know that love has a big range of what people mean by that. And maybe I'd suggest that there's not only a wide range, but also different degrees of strength and different forms of love. And but still, some form of love needs to be there for compassion. And so, how do we love people? can we have love for others without some love for ourselves? If we don't have something like love for ourselves, then can we? Does our love arise from a healthy place? Does our love for others arise from some place that people delight in our love and our appreciation of them? If love comes from fear, if love comes from a sense of loneliness, or love comes from the desire for the other person to provide something for me, then love is maybe not really suitable. That love is not suitable for compassion, which is a genuine, respectful care for the suffering of others. I've known people for whom the source, the reason they loved others, what they called love, the reason why there was a strong attraction, strong orientation towards them, strong desire to be with them, was because the other person provided love. The other person loved them and valued them and delighted them. And it wasn't exactly the other person they loved, but what they loved was how the person treated them, what they got from the person, made them feel good and happy, felt needed or something. And maybe that's a form of love, but it's the love that is not coming from need. The love that's in a pure appreciation of the other person, independent of what we receive in return from them. And so with compassion, the care, the loving care for others' suffering, that brings appreciation of them, an understanding of them, and a respect for them, and an acceptance of them. That all those take precedence in where the source of love is in us. That yes, we appreciate them. There's gratitude, there's delight, there's seeing the preciousness and the inherent value of others, the worth of others. And that is what we delight in. That is what we love and appreciate. One of the teachings of Buddhism is that as we develop a greater appreciation for our own beauty and capacity for Dharma beauty within, that we have eyes to see the beauty in other people. And if no matter who we see, even our nemesis, that do we have the capacity to see something in there that's beautiful in their hearts, in their minds, and can there be some kind of love for that that's not naive, love for that we still protect ourselves, to still find some way to care for ourselves and to not overlook the fact that their behavior is unacceptable, but to see the beauty, to love. So these 5 qualities of this week, acceptance, understanding, respect, acceptance, and now love, is the acronym for oral. That means to listen, or having to do with listening. And I chose this acronym because can there be appreciation without the kind of receptivity of really listening deeply to someone, the kind of listening that happens before we speak, the kind of receptivity and taking in people and their situation that happens prior to judgments and ideas and solutions and all this, to really just listen deeply so that we can appreciate them, delight in them, respect them in deep ways. So love. What form of love can you have that is realistic, that doesn't have such a high bar that you need to gush over them, or you need to somehow forgive them, or you need to somehow like them even? Is there some kind of deep fundamental love that's possible when there is some degree, when you find something to appreciate in others, you find understanding of them in a deeper way, that you find respect for them, you find acceptance of something there? What is that for you? So I would like this last talk to be more of a challenge to you than offering you finished, complete ideas. And the challenge is, um, what form of love is needed if you want to have compassion for the world? And what form of love is, in that form of love that's needed for compassion, what form does that take that's appropriate for you, that's right for you? Um, and um, and so, rather than agreeing or disagreeing with what I said, what I challenge you to do is to find how this can be true in your terms, in your way. How is it true for you that something called love is the important precursor for compassion? And what is the nature of that love? So that's the challenge. And I'd like to leave you with. And maybe you'll have something to say about that in our community meeting. And so I'll post now the Zoom link. It'll take me a couple of minutes myself to get into the room. So some of you probably get in and just have to wait for me. And so let's see. So here is there's the link. There it is. Oops. So did it come through? I don't know if it came through. Why is not do the return? There we go. No? Is that? I don't know if it didn't come through, did it? Also, not yet. Well, I'm going to do it over on the other computer as well. It's as I said, it's on the IMC homepage under What's New, the first item there, and also, maybe for some reason I'm not able to send chats on this computer that I have here. So I'll do it over the other computer, and then I'll be there in a few minutes. And thank you for today very much.